Hello, friends. My name is Lavana. I am the DMV coach. And if you are new here, thank you for stopping by. For all of the subscribers that's already subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel and you find this information helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. It is the easiest and free way to support me so that I can bring you content like this that's going to be helpful for you when you go and deal with any DMV issues. So today we're going to talk about transferring a title and how to do that properly and what forms you're going to need. And I'm going to share my screen today. I get this question all the time. I get a lot of comments about some of the videos that I've already posted. So today I want to go into depth about how to transfer a title if you are the buyer or if you're the seller, and what you need to do and what documents you need to bring to get that started. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so this particular video is going to be specific to North Carolina. I will, in the future, do other videos for different states, eligible all 50 states. But today we're just going to talk about North Carolina. So the form that we have called the MVR 191, not as important. You don't really need to know what that form number is, but it is a North Carolina title. When you get a North Carolina title, it's going to have a red border. It should look just like this. It's going to have a red border. It will have the VIN number on here. It will also have a title number on here, your year of the vehicle, the make, the body style. Sometimes it's going to say 4S. 4S stands for four door. 2S stands for two door. MP stands for multi-purpose, which in North Carolina, that's considered an SUV. It may say TK for truck or SW for station wagon. So many different things. So that's your body style. The title issue date will be here. All of this stuff will be stamped on here when you receive this title. And if this title had a previous title number, this is going to be where the previous title number goes. Depending on the year of the vehicle, the odometer reading will be here. And status, odometer status, those are special titles, not so much where you have to be concerned about. Title brand. When you're purchasing a vehicle from North Carolina or from a private seller, you want to pay attention to this box right here, because if this says salvage, then that means that that vehicle has been salvaged in the state of North Carolina or any other state for that matter. And that's called a title brand. And that title brand follows the title for the life of the vehicle. So title brand. When you're buying a car from a private seller, you want to make sure you don't have anything on this section of the title. On this side right here where it says owner's name and address, the person that you were buying this vehicle from, their name should be on here. So for instance, if you are buying a vehicle from Jane Smith, Jane Smith's name should show up in this section of the title. If you, let's say, bought a vehicle off of Craigslist and that person's name is Mike Jones, but the title says Jane Smith, that is not a legal transfer of title because that person doesn't own the vehicle. Make sure that when you buy a vehicle, the person that you're buying it from, their name appears on the owner's section of the title. Again, this is your first lien holder section. So this section is if the person had a loan on the vehicle, or even if you are transferring a title and you have a loan on the vehicle, you pay that loan off. Sometimes it'll say first lien holder and it'll have the bank's name or whoever you were making your payments to. Once you pay it off, they're going to sign here where it says lien release. It'll have the date that it was released, which means the day that you paid it off, signature here, and whoever signed their title will go here, and the date. And now we're going to go to the back of the title, the meat and potatoes as to why you're here. How to transfer a title. This is going to be your example. So on the back of that same North Carolina title, name of buyer, John Quincy Public, the buyer's address, the mileage is here. The seller's signature is Jane Smith Doe. That's whose name should have been on the front of that title. Whoever's name's on the front of the title needs to sign the back of the title. Jane Smith Doe signs this title. Jane Smith Doe printed her name. This section here, we get a lot of times at the DMV, this section will get filled out because the person that's selling the vehicle thinks that they're supposed to fill it out. That's the notary section. The notary is indicating what date did they witness Jane Smith Doe sign this title. So the notary is indicating, as per this example, that they witnessed Jane sign this title on September 15th, 2021 in Johnston County in North Carolina. Underneath, you'll see her name appears again. The notary is indicating that she physically saw Jane Smith Doe sign this title. So the notary is printing the person's name on the back of this title, saying, yes, I witnessed Jane Smith Doe sign this title. So I'm printing her name on this line. The notary is Melissa Stanfield. The notary is signing her name. The notary is printing her name. She's putting the date that her seal expires. That is November 12th, 2025. She's putting her seal here. Well, that's interesting. This is an example of a title that's not valid. This is the first time I'm looking at this particular example. So let me just show you why. So Melissa is the notary, but if you look at the seal, it says John Quincy is the notary. John Quincy is the person that bought it, so John Quincy can't possibly be the. So this is a very poor example, but this should say Melissa Stanfield. She is the notary. John Quincy Public is the buyer. But in any case, make sure that whoever is signing this document is also on this notary seal. On this section, this is just stating that the vehicle that you're purchasing has never been salvaged, damaged, reconstructed, recovered from theft. So that's what those three no boxes are. And the date that you took delivery of the vehicle goes here. Most times you got the document signed, you're taking delivery of the vehicle. So those dates are the same, but sometimes it could be different. You can have the title notarized. Jane could have gotten the title notarized because she knew that John was coming to buy the vehicle, but she didn't deliver the vehicle for another couple of weeks. Whatever date that John takes possession of the vehicle needs to go in this section right here. Now, in this example, this is considered a title application. We're not going to go over this. These titles don't look like this anymore because they took the actual title application off of the document. Let me see if I can find an example of a title app, because the back of it, when you get a title, section A should be the only section that you're filling out. Okay, let's just stop there. Let's see if I can find an example of an actual title application. Okay, so this is going to be your basic title application. So as I said, on the back of the North Carolina title, they don't put the title application on the back of the titles anymore. It is a separate document. So you take a look at my screen. This is your North Carolina title application, which some of you may have heard me mention is called an MVR1 title app. On the top of this document, you're just indicating that you want a title and a license plate. So you're going to mark this box. Here is if you're getting a truck and you want like a weighted tag, that goes there. But most times you're just going to get a regular plate and you're going to mark this box where it says limit registration plate. That just means that you want to get a plate. You want to get a plate at the time of transferring the title, but you don't want to pay the property taxes at that time. So you have 60 days to pay property taxes, which is due to the county. So you pay property taxes to the county. So the title application is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to put the year of the vehicle that you purchased, the make. Like I said, some titles will say TK. This particular case, this is a truck. So you put TK. It's an F-150. And your VIN information goes here. Should always be 17 characters long. You're going to put the fuel type, whether it's gas, diesel, or hybrid. The mileage at the time of purchase. Owner section. This is where your name goes. Here it's asking for owner ID. If you have a North Carolina ID, you can put that ID number there. But if you do not have a North Carolina ID, leave that blank. Just fill out your name as it appears on your driver's license. When I say that, I mean not your nickname. Put your name, first name, middle name, last name. A lot of agencies will reject the work because you forgot to put your middle name. Please put your middle name on there. So it's asking for your full legal name. They're asking for whole government. Okay. Your address. So you can put your address, city, state, zip code. If you have a separate address where you receive mail, that goes on your mailing address. If you took out a loan for this vehicle, this first lien section, that's what that means. So if you went out, took out a loan with Truist Bank for this example, Truist Bank is who the title is going to get sent to. So that information goes there. Second lien, there's usually never ever a second lien. And then that's your lien section. Here is your insurance information, goes here. Whatever your insurance company is, their name goes there and the policy number goes here. This particular vehicle was purchased new, but in your case, if you're buying it from a private seller, it's going to be used. The date that you purchased it, who you purchased it from. You don't need the address, just the name. This came from a dealership, so that's going to be blank if you purchased it from a private seller. This is if it's a lease, so that's also going to be blank. Equipment number is also going to be blank. This is the most important part. So you're going to sign your name here as it says owner's signature. Now you are now the new owner and you're saying, I need a title to be put in my name. So you're going to sign your name here, and the bottom under your signature, the notary is going to complete the rest. The notary is going to complete the date that you signed this document, what county you were in when you signed it, and of course the state of North Carolina. It's very, very small, but the notary is going to put the person that stood before them, which is Hope and Thomas. The notary puts Hope's name there, and William Smith is the notary, so he signed, he put his seal, and he printed his name and put the date that his seal expires. You take this document along with your insurance, your ID, and your title, and you will walk away with plates. I hope this information was helpful. Again, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. It is a free way to help this channel grow. If this information was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I answer all questions. Please leave a comment below if there's a particular video that you want me to cover. I'll be glad to do that. Thank you again for stopping by.